Hello, my name is Ann Ganya, and this is a screencast for Franciscan University's Masters in Online Education Program, EDU 541, School and Society. Proposition 3. Teachers are responsible for managing and monitoring student learning. Trend 7. The percentage of American children living in families with incomes below the poverty line has increased continuously. Nearly 1 in 5 children are poor today. Field-based activity number 4. Examine Maslow's hierarchy of needs and explain how his concepts impact a student's ability to learn, as well as support the need for teachers to pay attention to these factors. Maslow has identified 5 needs that motivate behavior. The most basic needs of each person are the physiological needs of food, water, warmth, and rest. Maslow finds that if all the needs are unsatisfied, the person is then dominated by the physiological needs, and all other needs may become simply non-existent or be pushed to the background. After the physiological needs have been met, they are replaced by the need to be safe. This includes both emotional and physical safety. Maslow moves on to say that if both the physiological and safety needs are fairly well gratified, then there will emerge the love and affection and belongingness needs. A person will hunger for affection and strive with great intensity to meet this need. Maslow also points out that the love needs involve both giving and receiving love. Building on the hierarchy of needs and motivation, Maslow identifies the esteem needs as the need to be a stable, firmly based, high evaluation of oneself and the esteem of others. Maslow says, satisfaction of the self-esteem need leads to feelings of self-confidence, worth, strength, capability, and adequacy of being useful and necessary in the world. Even when all these needs have been met, Maslow identifies the need for self-actualization, saying, a new discontent or restlessness will soon develop unless the individual is doing what he is fitted for. A musician must make music. An artist must paint. A poet must write if he's to be ultimately happy. What a man can be, he must be. It is the fulfillment of the basic psychological and self-fulfillment needs that leads to a desire to know and understand, the ultimate goals of our educational system. Let us examine each of these needs as they relate to children and learning. While America is one of the richest nations in the world, her children often go without. NoKidHungry.org's 2013 fact sheet states that 16 million, or 1 out of every 5 kids in America, is living in a household without consistent access to adequate food. 62% of America's K-8 teachers regularly see kids come to school hungry because they aren't getting enough to eat at home. The Child Help Foundation reports that 85% of low-income families want to make healthy meals at home for their kids, but only 50% are able to do so most nights of the week. The perceived cost of healthy groceries is cited as their number 1 obstacle. NoKidHungry.org reports that when a child comes to school hungry, he suffers from an inability to concentrate, poor academic performance, headaches, and stomach aches. However, there is a 17.5% increase in standardized math scores and an average increase in attendance of 1.5 days seen by students who regularly start the day with a healthy breakfast. The physiological needs on Maslow's hierarchy give way to the safety needs, which include both physical and emotional safety. The Child Help Foundation's child abuse statistics show that every year more than 3 million reports of child abuse are made in the United States. 28.3% of children were physically abused. The United States of America has one of the worst records among industrialized nations, losing on average between 4 and 7 children every day to child abuse and neglect. A report of child abuse is made every 10 seconds. In 2012, state agencies found an estimated 686 victims of child maltreatment. This would pack 10 modern football stadiums, and as we know, it does pack many classrooms. In addition to physical safety issues, the American Humane Association reports children also experience emotional abuse that makes them feel unsafe. Types of emotional abuse include ignoring, rejecting, isolating, exploiting or corrupting, verbally assaulting, terrorizing, and neglecting the child. Children who experience child abuse and neglect are about 9 times more likely to become involved in criminal activity. The American Humane Association says that children who are emotionally abused suffer at least as much, if not more, than those who are physically abused. Children who are emotionally abused often end up thinking they are deficient in some way. Prince and Howard, 2002, point out that from the first moment of life, human beings continually seek the reassurances of belonging and love. Children who receive consistent and reliable responses from their parents during the early years of life are able to develop successful, secure relationships. However, poverty can influence how parents interact with their children, and as hardships intensify, parents tend to be less nurturing. The lack of nurturing from parents causes many children to seek love and a sense of belonging at school. Unfortunately, schools seldom fulfill or even recognize this need. The absence of this sense of belonging at school results in many children who do not identify with the establishment of school and leads to long-term negative consequences, including behaviors such as absenteeism, noncompliance, disruptiveness, and inattentiveness, seen as early as 3rd grade, and are reliable predictors of graduation. One of the most frequently cited reasons for dropping out of school is that a student does not belong or feels out of place. The esteem needs, or the need to feel accomplished and successful, is the next need on Maslow's hierarchy. Often, a deficit approach is taken toward education by those who have not been successful in the past. Phrases such as, "I can't do it," "I'm not worthy," "I need to be perfect," "I must not make a mistake," or "I'm not good enough," indicate a lack of satisfaction of esteem needs. Many success stories in overcoming the challenges of poverty can be attributed to finding and developing a certain strength within the student. Anderson, 2004, describes strength-based education as a process of assessing, teaching, and designing experiential learning activities to help students identify their greatest talents, and then develop and apply strengths based on those talents in the learning process. Strengths-based education can be used effectively with all students, regardless of socioeconomic background. Anderson reports positive results to strength-based educational assessments, including increased awareness of talents, personal confidence, academic confidence, motivation to achieve, confidence about the future, use of talents, development of strength, interpersonal understandings, and relationships. Clearly, a strength-based approach to education supports students in meeting their esteemed needs as outlined by Maslow. Identifying a student's strengths and implementing educational practices that encourage those strengths leads to self-actualization, where one can achieve full potential. This includes serving others within areas of strength and presenting learning and discoveries to classmates. In essence, capitalizing on strengths leads to developing curiosity and passion. It is this internal desire to know and understand that is the true goal of education. Some additional applications of Maslow's needs towards our educational practices are seen here. Teachers can implement water breaks, control temperature, and provide snacks to meet the physiological needs of their students. Teachers can encourage affirmations and compliments, as well as provide a place for a child to voice concerns of safety in the classroom, such as a worry drop box. They can encourage belonging by organizing safe service projects, celebrations, and address issues of bullying. To promote the self-esteem of students, a teacher can showcase student work and encourage student presentations. Finally, to meet the self-actualization needs of students, teachers can encourage leadership and community outreach, as well as journaling and critical thinking activities. As my field educator, Kathy Nolan, pointed out, it can be very discouraging as an educator to be faced with significant levels of rural generational poverty. In our rural Vermont district, some schools have a poverty rate of 75%. 3 out of 4 students in these classrooms are living in poverty. She has seen evidence that few kids from poverty reach their fullest potential. Some specific initiatives the school district takes to meet the physiological needs of its students include implementing the McKinney-Vento Act, where Kathy acts as a liaison to parents of homeless children to provide everything the child needs to attend school, such as winter clothing and school supplies. Additionally, Kathy told me that all the schools now provide a mid-morning snack of fresh fruits and vegetables to students. To meet the safety needs of the students, the school district implements extensive education around the areas of bullying and harassment to keep kids emotionally safe while they are at school. Schools offer after-school care to increase the time that children are in the safe environment of school and provide snacks during these programs as well. The district also utilizes responsive classroom techniques to help create a joyful, safe, and challenging classroom for all students. The school implements safety protocols to handle emergency situations, such as bomb threats or other disasters that may occur. Learning about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and motivation has led me to some important conclusions and goals for my future as a coordinator of a homeschool collaborative. First, as I learned from Kathy Nolan, the reality of poverty in our area is profound, and I must never assume that the families I encounter have their basic needs met. If, as the Child Help Organization reports, 1 in 5 students in America do not have reliable food sources, then the importance of nutrition and providing support to families must be a priority for our school as well. Secondly, creating an environment of belonging, both of students and parents in our homeschool collaborative, will be essential to the success of the program. I need to include opportunities for families to get to know one another within the yearly calendar and encourage cooperative learning and group problem-solving strategies in the curriculum. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, I must work to provide an environment that empowers parents to discover the strengths of their child and encourage parents to feed not only the mouths, but the passion, strength, and curiosity of their children so they can become self-actualized, passionate, lifelong learners.